silent fish too. Sheephead look like. Wrong. Yeah, my cousin loves it. So. Like you, man, Carl. Back to the old school. I'm gonna put a couple of lines out. Guys, welcome to a little quick shoot. Another episode of Hooked Up Fishing. And you can see from the looks of this, I'm going to be doing something a little different in the morning. Game plan is Kemah channel to try for some big wintertime trout using live scope. I'm going to put in and just come out in the channel and start searching early as possible for some suspending fish, you know, backwater predator curly tail is what I'm going to be using with a very light 1/16 ounce head and another 1/16 ounce head. I want to go as light as possible so those baits fall slow. I got a small version and a clear in case they're real finicky, and then, you know, you can't go wrong with a Pro White. Natural garlic scent comes on those backwater predator baits. I'm going to spray them again with a little bit of garlic, you know, before I drop them each time, in case those fish, you know, are not really wanting to feed. I'm going to be, that's going to be paired with one of my lures, which is my lures BBSHZ. I love that lures. It's a very wide spool, holds a lot of line, casts a country mile, no backlash once you set it. Love that lures, and it's just paired with a 7'6" All-Star rod, and it's a medium action rod, and that's all I'm going to be needing to target those trout. Hopefully I'll get on some hookups for my father-in-law, Big Larry. He likes those trout. I don't really eat them, but you know, I'll target them for him. And that's one thing that we're going to be targeting. And let me go to another setup, get the camera back on once I get the next rig set up, or either maybe take you through it. And that next rig is going to be my sheephead rig, and it's going to have my old school Shimano, which Shimano used to make lures gears, and that's how Shimano got into making reels. Lures is the grandfather of reels. They were making the teardrop, all of that. The teardrop you see that fits your hand, all that came from lures. Shimano was making their gears, and what Shimano did was, lures was mainly freshwater. They were bass fishermen. Everybody always used them up north and stuff like that. Shimano's made reels that were saltwater resistant, and that's what got them the big kick. And Luz, he wasn't real good at keeping patents. That was the downside to Luz. The owner didn't care nothing about keeping patents and all of that kind of stuff. And you really don't have to. When you're good, you don't have to worry about somebody coming along trying to mimic you, because Shimanos are great, but you're never going to outdo a Luz. My Luz that I have set up next, what I'll have for throwing plugs and stuff, that's why I have it. I'm going to leave it set up for flounder fishing. That Luz is my speed spool, wide spool Super Duty. I'll put that up against anybody's reel anywhere to be able to be a beast with almost 20 foot-pounds of drag. I can take it offshore, or I can fish it inshore. That reel will handle any fish. Bull reds, don't matter. But I'm going to be using the Shimano, once again, guys, for targeting the sheephead. And what I'm going to do to target them is I'm going to take some 21.34 pound. I got this stuff from, you know, online, some Chinese line. I think it's a fluorocarbon, which I love using. It's 20-pound fluoro. And I'm going to make a leader out of that with a swivel, about just like I rig up for crappie, but this time it's going to be for sheep's head. And I really don't have to worry about line twist. I really can tie directly line to line, and I'll be just as fine without a swivel. But I just love using a swivel, and it allows me also to put a little bit of weight on the rig. I should have been set up, so let me get set up first and then come back, where I'm not digging for stuff while I'm showing you how I rig this thing up. Hopefully the lighting will be good enough for you'll see what happens. I like using a little bead as well with that. And I'm going to have a #1 live croaker hook is what I'm going to use to target the fish once I do get it set up. A lot of people like to use a jig head, you know, with the shrimp for sheep's head. That works, but I'm just not one that likes that. I like to have a free line shrimp. That way that bait moves freely and just have the weight up above it. And I'll show you that rig just in a minute when I get it rigged up here. Come back, guys. This is that beast here, which is that Lew's Speed Spool Wide Spool Super Duty. Everything about that thing is bulky, man. I mean, not bulky, but solid. This is just a solid reel. I've caught kingfish with it, you name it. Big pompano, doesn't matter. And y'all know the rig that I use is a worm weight, just like Texas worm weight fishing. Small swivel. I'll use a small worm weight here, and then my big 5/0 worm hook, and that's what I use to target flounder. But I'm going to set that to the side, and it's going to be maybe throwing some plugs and stuff like that. Let's get back to the way I'm going to rig up for my sheep's head. Now, I've seen a lot of people like to use a small treble hook. Okay, super small treble hook. That's great. Does okay. Sometimes that fish gets it down and it makes sure it hooks up. But the problem with these treble hooks, and if you don't have a high grade, which these are eagle claw, they're high grade, but sheep's head have such a hard crusher deal back down in their throat. If they get this treble hook down there, I've seen them smash that thing flat to where it's flat and it won't hook anything. I've seen them do that with those treble hooks. So for that reason, no matter how small, I don't like using the treble hooks for the sheep's heads. What I love, which you're not going to outdo, is a #1 live croaker hook. That hook, with that configuration, with that double bend, every time you pull that hook up, that hook rolls and hooks those sheephead when they're hard to fish. I've caught everything with that. Piggy perch, small fish. This doesn't miss. And it's got an offset bend to it, so that is away from, it's bent that way a little bit to where it's going to always hook up. It's offline. It's not centered. And you would think that's a flaw, but that's a perfect hook setting machine right there. #1 live croaker hook. You cannot outdo that hook. Okay, and what I do with it is this. Because those sheephead are super finicky, I use a super small, and I don't think I need any light, a really small barrel swivel, but it's 100-pound test, so I don't have to worry about that. And what I'll do is I'll come in here, put my bead on. Okay, once my bead is on, I'll come here. Well, first, before I put my bead on, what I normally do first, so everything falls into place, I'll take my #1 live croaker hook and tie a knot that I've used every single time. This never failed me. Go through the eye once, go through it again. You got your tag in, take the tag in around the line 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then back through both eyes that you made on that, going through that eye twice. So you got both loops there, and you go through both of them, grab the tag in, pull it, I wet it, and cinch it down. That's not going anywhere. I'll leave that tag in on if I want, doesn't matter. They'll think it's a shrimp leg sticking out. Then once that is done and I have it like that, I'll come in here and I'll drop my bead. Straight down to the line, straight down to the top of the hook, okay? And I'll come in here with a small worm weight, because I don't think I'll have some current, but if I have current, then I'll bump it up to a real big worm weight. I don't think I'll have to tomorrow, but I'm going to start off with the small worm weight. And I'll drop the small worm weight and let that down there to the hook. What that does is keeps that shrimp from just being able to kick real far and real hard without a little bit of resistance from that weight. I'll come in here, get one of my super small barrel swivels, and this is for line twists. I use bait casters, which you don't have a problem with line twists, because I don't use spinning reels. Spinning reels are for kids, you know, and girls, but you know, some people use them. I've never used a spinning reel in my life. I learned with a bait caster. Not knocking anybody that use spinning reels, because I've seen bass guys using them now, bass fishing, but it's not for me. Maybe they make some without line twists. I'll do the same knot up here, go through twice, through that barrel swivel, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, because I already went once. I'll go back through both eyes, hard to see, grab the tag in. Once you go through both eyes, let's see, maybe hard to see, but I'm sure you guys know the knot. It's a common knot. I don't even know what it's called. I know I tie it. Go around the main line 4 times, go back through both eyes that you made, grab the tag in. Once you've done it so many times, it's like clockwork. Grab the tag in with your finger, pull down. Once it starts cinching down, and you got enough tag line out, wet it. You can hold your barrel swivel now and just pull and let the line cinch down. Once it cinches down, you got those 2 lines. I'm going to take my Shimano Super Free 2000 Classic. Take the main line here, and tie that same knot to the main line. I'm going to check all of my knots once I'm done. Pretty sure I'm all up in y'all's face, all on the camera, but I'm sorry. I gotta see my big head while I'm trying to do this. But anyway, I'll take and tie the same knot here on top side of the barrel swivel. And this is the way I'm going to approach them if I'm fishing straight down on a piling for them. Of course, if I'm in the jetties and I'm fishing for them, I'll show you guys that rig. But I'll go through to make 2 loops, go around the main line again with my reel line, the line that's coming off the spool of the reel 4 times. And that's 17-pound Suffix It's not a fluoro. It's a mono. I think it's a double. It's a blend. The green line that's at Bass Pro Shops. And there, okay, if I want to clean it up some, I just try not to get this stuff, these little pieces anywhere in the house. It's got kids and stuff. So I always try to be up over my tackle box when I clip them, so I don't want anything in the house, on the floor. Got a dog, I don't want him licking up the mono. So what I'll have here is I'll check this knot. Checking that one at the same time because I'm pulling on it. That ain't going nowhere. And I'll put live shrimp straight through the horn or feed him through on here. And I'll just do some straight drops next to some pilings if I get in there and scan and I see sheep's head, because I'm going to be fishing some pilings in the Kemah channel for the sheep's head after I get through trout fishing for suspending trout. And that'll be my sheephead rig for tomorrow, just like that. It's with this 2000 Shimano 2000 Super Free, and one of my favorites, my Fishing Tackle Unlimited Bay Runner. It's a 7'6" graphite rod. Man, it is solid. Big bull reds on this thing. Y'all saw that in a video. But that's my rig for tomorrow for those sheep's head. Okay. This, like I said, I'm most likely going to be throwing some plugs with it. So I don't necessarily have to go ahead and rig it up, because it's going to be the last thing I do. But I may go ahead and put a blade runner or something like that I could get down and target those trout with. Or I may go ahead and put my flounder rig on, and that's what I think I'm actually going to do, is rig it up for flounder. And I'll show y'all that rig in a minute here, right quick. Same thing, it's a bass rig basically. So I'll be able to show you guys that. Oh, before I go to that, I'll show you. Here's my rig for when I'm fishing the jetties for the sheep's head. I take a #1 disc weight. They tend not to get hung up as much in the jetties. On the other end of the line of that disc weight, I tie a #1 live croaker hook. Instead of buying pre-made rigs, you guys that do that, I mean, I don't know if you just like the pre-made rigs and it's easier or quicker for you. So I'm not going to say this is for everybody, but for me, I'm not sitting there spending money on a pre-made rig that costs a couple of bucks or however much they cost. I ain't bought one in so long. Those rigs with the beads and the hooks already, I mean not the hooks, but the clips already there for double drop, double shrimp, dead on the bottom. Take my line, do my 4 wraps around, go back through the main line, pull it down to where I got a little tag in showing, wet it, cinch it down. So then what I'll do is I'll leave all this line 2 or 3 foot, even longer sometime, and the hook way up here, because I'm throwing into the jetty rocks to get sheephead. And then I'll just make a simple loop up here at the top, which will be my eye. And sometimes I'll tie straight to the line, but sometimes I'll put a swivel there. But when I'm fishing the jetties, I don't need to put a swivel there. There's no need in, if I get broke off, losing a swivel too, because I use some high-end swivels and they're not really just cheap. So I'll just tie this line, a simple loop knot here at the top, with that hook way up here, way up at the top. I'll have a little bit more out than that sometimes. But that weight goes down into the rocks before the hook gets there. So a lot of times you don't get hung up. And if you do get hung up, you'll break off and lose the weight and then get the fish. Okay? So that's for throwing up into the jetties for my sheep's head. I'll have this rig that I'll make up. But I don't think I'll be doing any of that tomorrow, but I'll bring it anyway, just in case. But let me rig the other one up for to throw some flounder tops, because I'm not going to go in the Kemah channel and don't chunk at some areas where I know the flounder hold without at least giving it a shot. So I'll get back with y'all when I show you that flounder rig. I'm bringing these old classics, H&H spec rigs. You never know. You never know. Love these Z-Man for redfish. These things are deadly. The Deal Swim. It's a 3-inch 6-pack. Z-Man. Those kill a redfish. Thank you, Stan. Stan put me up on those. Stan from California that I took crappie fishing. That's why I say about your blessings. He turned right back around and blessed me with, you know, the knowledge of those Z-Man baits, and they're awesome. They're awesome. But that's what I'm bringing out there, guys. I probably don't need all these Z-Mans, but I'm going to take some of them out. Of course, I don't plan on throwing that many, but this is just how I keep so many of them together. I'll take a bunch of them out of there so I got room for other stuff, because I'm going to rig up a box. It's kind of light just for tomorrow. Of course, never go anywhere without your bone top water. Just in case. You never know early in the morning. I've never seen top water trout in the Kemah channel, but there's a first time for everything. Love these boxes with the O-rings on them. They keep salt air out, keep salt water out. They're completely waterproof and keeps your baits from rusting, your hooks and all of that stuff. So, let me get us rigged up to get out on the water. Once I rig up that the flounder rig, just in case. You never know. See y'all on the water in the morning. Dirty South Angler is going to be out there. Dirty is supposed to be out there with me tomorrow, so we ought to put on a good show for you guys, hopefully. Get on some good solid fish later. Okay guys, the last thing, I empty this out. We'll just put all this in there because all this can go with it. Maybe not that hat. Take the old hooked up fishing beanie cap out. That can stay and that can stay. Throw this line away. Line I need to throw away. Go throw this line in the trash and be right back. Already 11:21. Okay, flounder rig. I'm sure you guys know it. I showed it before. Hopefully I'll get one or two or three tomorrow. That's why I keep all those worm weights, different sizes. Of course, 4 ounce. Should have some 5 ounce. 5 out, real small bead and split shot, and a small swivel. Worm weight, that's my flounder rig. Big 6 and 8 inch curly tails. That's what I throw. I might end up bringing it. I think I'm going to bring it. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen. And I don't want to catch fish schooling in something that I don't have. A good selection of stick baits, some Miradines, hot pink and silver, of course a bone top water, old school mirror lures. All these I changed all the hooks out on. These mirror lures are 51 series nose runners. I love nose runners. I don't like the ones with the eye in the back. I love throwing these nose runners because they make real good twitch baits. For, you know, that's all I used to throw for trout was these nose running, especially in this bone, mirror lures. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring that box tomorrow because I'd hate to be out there and then something jumps off and I don't have it. You know, it may be what those suspending trout want. Something that falls slow like a corky or whatever. But we'll see. See you guys on the water in the morning. Thanks for watching. Like, subscriptions, comments as always. Me in the Dirty South Angler in the Texas City, in the Kemah Channel in the morning. Hooked up fishing and the Dirty South Angler. Kemah Channel, sheephead, trout, redfish, anything that pulls back. Later. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that water looks funky. I'm not going to even call Eric and dirty South Angler and ask him any questions, because that water looks funky. So I'm in the water here, y'all, in Kemah. It's 9:12 a.m. Welcome back to another episode of Hooked Up Fishing, y'all. Plan is to target some sheephead. Like I said, so far the water is a real funky brown, but I watched the boater over there, her anchored off, ain't nobody setting hook on nothing, holding on to the bank over there. So I'm gonna do my thing and go to where I know maybe the sheephead could be and give it a shot. Guys, I came over here. Dirty South Angler's already got the fish pinpointing, so he made it work easy. He already on the fish. According to the line scope, it's a bunch of fish down there just swimming out here in this little pocket. We got a real bad outgoing tide. I don't like, in the Kemah Channel, I don't like an outgoing. I'd rather have an incoming, a light incoming, but we just gonna deal with what we got. I got a light weight on. Hopefully it'll work out. I ain't got no dip net, but I'm gonna raise this thing up and get them out one at a time today. One good thing, he got a lot of small shrimp, so I get a lot of shots with that little old. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had never either. Somebody, I was either going or somebody talked to me into pulling over there. I did. There was a brother in there last time I went, an older man. He was all excited and had me on the video. He went in there and asked the boss, "Hey, you want him to advertise?" He said, "Oh, no." He said they cater to a lot of guys, so he didn't want to have a lot of people know about it, come in there and buy before the guys or something. As long as I can see it. Mine did the same thing. Mine said the same way. I'm talking about out of there. And no help. I can't go up in there and really work with her because I ain't trying to get sick and they got that baby enough for her. I gotta take the baby to the doctor tomorrow. Her in the vacuum. Well, I know you. That's one thing you gonna take care of that for. Can't shake it. Solid fish too. Sheephead look like. Drum. Yeah, my cousin love him so. Like you and they crawl. Back to the old school. I'm gonna put a couple of lines out. She said 15. Hooked up again. As soon as I got back around here from getting my jacket, this time he got a man on. I got to try to get my anchor to hold, but I'm going to catch some of that footage. He got a good one on. I mean, good. Probably a nice red. There's a drum acting like a red. Cat, gapped up. No, yeah. My ankle didn't hold, but I'm sure going to be right with the pump with it. Like that. Nice drum. All this gonna be your footage. God. Good solid fish too. Don't worry about it. I got a fish basket right here. That one was right up under you, wasn't it? Dead bait, soaked in garlic. Look at that string. Live bait, 0. Dead bait, a limit already. Hold that string up. God dog, man. I'm talking about a bulldog drum stringer, man. I'm out here mouth watering, fiending for. I mean, he can't lift it. All solid fish. One sheephead. Get this live bait up off here and get some action on. Live bait ain't the ticket today. I heard about putting salt on them. Some people put salt on them. Maybe I can get bit. Stiff incoming tide now and a stiff incoming wind. Our docking is going to be a little bit of a challenge, not much for me. I'll go ahead and show you what's the convenience of having a Hobie with a Mirage drive, where you're able to deal with the current, position yourself for a smooth landing, bringing your kayak in. You don't have to sit and fight. Right up against the dock here. But that's perfect for how I want to dock off. Current's a little fast. outgoing all morning. Now it's ripping back in. Wasn't the right conditions now. Fried crab and puppy drum. So y'all know, if you know, you know. That be the good stuff right here. Fried crab. Ooh, that came out good. I already ate. This is what's left. That's how we get down. Make it happen.